Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. Your support helps us create more amazing psychology content for you. Now, let's get started. Human psychology is complex, and when it comes to understanding men, many assumptions and myths exist that often hide the deeper psychological truths. The way men think, react, and process emotions is influenced by a combination of biology, upbringing, social expectations, and personal experiences. While every individual is unique, psychologists have discovered patterns that reveal fascinating insights into male thinking. These insights can sometimes be surprising because they challenge the stereotype society has created about men being emotionally distant or simple thinkers. In reality, men's minds are constantly analyzing situations, balancing logic with emotion, and trying to maintain control over how they present themselves to the world. In this video, we will explore some shocking psychological truths about how men think, what motivates their behavior, and why they sometimes act in ways that may seem confusing to others. Men often hide vulnerability behind strength. One of the most surprising truths about male psychology is that many men hide their emotional vulnerability behind a mask of strength. From a young age, boys are often taught that showing emotions such as sadness, fear, or insecurity is a sign of weakness. As a result, many men learn to suppress these emotions and present themselves as confident and composed even when they are struggling internally. Psychologically, this coping mechanism becomes a habit over time. Instead of openly expressing their feelings, men may channel their emotions into work, hobbies, or problem-solving activities. This doesn't mean men don't feel deeply. In fact, many psychologists argue that men experience emotions just as intensely as women. The difference lies in how they process and express those emotions. Understanding this aspect of male psychology can help explain why some men appear distant during emotional situations. They are not necessarily uncaring, but rather conditioned to manage their emotions privately. Men are highly motivated by respect. While love and affection are important to everyone, psychological studies suggest that respect is a powerful emotional driver for many men. Respect gives men a sense of identity, competence, and purpose. When a man feels respected, whether in a relationship, workplace, or social environment, it reinforces his self-worth and motivates him to perform better. On the other hand, when men feel disrespected or undervalued, it can significantly impact their confidence and behavior. This need for respect is deeply connected to evolutionary and social factors, where men historically took on roles that required leadership, protection, and provision. Even in modern society, the psychological desire to feel valued and respected continues to influence how men interact with others and how they perceive their own success and happiness. Men often think in solutions rather than emotions. Another interesting aspect of male psychology is the tendency to approach problems with a solution-focused mindset. When faced with an issue, many men instinctively try to analyze the situation and find a practical fix, rather than discussing the emotional aspects of the problem. This difference in thinking style can sometimes create misunderstandings in relationships, especially when someone is looking for empathy or emotional support rather than a quick solution. From a psychological perspective, this behavior is linked to how men are often socialized to be problem solvers and protectors. Instead of focusing on feelings, they may focus on what actions can be taken to resolve the issue. While this approach can be incredibly useful in practical situations, it may sometimes make men appear less emotionally responsive than they actually are. Competition is deeply embedded in male psychology. Competition is another psychological trait that strongly influences how many men think and behave. From childhood games to professional careers, men often feel a natural drive to compete and prove their abilities. Psychologists believe this competitive mindset evolved from ancient survival environments where status and strength played important roles in leadership and resource acquisition. Even today, this instinct can be seen in sports, business, and social dynamics. Competition doesn't always mean hostility. In many cases, it serves as motivation for self-improvement. Men often measure progress by comparing achievements, skills, or accomplishments with others. Understanding this psychological trait can help explain why many men thrive in environments where they can challenge themselves and demonstrate their abilities. Men value loyalty extremely highly. Loyalty holds a significant psychological value for many men, often forming the foundation of strong friendships and relationships. Once a man trusts someone and considers them part of his inner circle, he may become deeply committed to protecting and supporting that person. This sense of loyalty can extend to friends, partners, family members, and even teams or organizations. Psychologically, loyalty creates a sense of belonging and stability. When loyalty is broken, however, it can deeply affect a man's trust and emotional openness. Because many men invest heavily in a smaller number of close relationships rather than a large social network, betrayal or dishonesty can have a stronger psychological impact than people might expect. Men often process emotions internally. One of the lesser-known psychological truths about men is that they often process emotions internally before sharing them. Instead of immediately discussing how they feel, many men prefer to take time to think through their emotions privately. This internal processing allows them to analyze the situation and regain emotional control before expressing their thoughts. While this approach can help them maintain composure, it can also create misunderstandings because others may assume they are ignoring the issue or do not care. In reality, they may simply be taking the time they need to organize their thoughts and emotions. Understanding this psychological pattern can improve communication and help create more supportive interactions. Men fear failure more than they show. Another surprising truth about male psychology is the deep fear of failure that many men experience. Society often places high expectations on men to succeed, provide, and remain strong under pressure. These expectations can create significant psychological stress. Even when men appear confident, they may secretly worry about disappointing others or not living up to their responsibilities. This fear can sometimes drive men to work harder, take risks, or push themselves beyond their limits. However, it can also cause them to hide their struggles because they feel they must maintain an image of control and success. Recognizing this hidden pressure can help foster greater empathy and understanding. Men express love through actions. While some men may not frequently express love through words, they often communicate their feelings through actions. Psychological research shows that many men demonstrate affection by doing things for the people they care about, solving problems, offering protection, providing support, or helping with practical tasks. These actions are often their way of saying, "I care about you." Because this expression style differs from verbal or emotional communication, it can sometimes go unnoticed. However, understanding this behavior can reveal that many men show love through commitment, responsibility, and consistent support rather than elaborate emotional conversations. Men experience a wide range of emotions, motivations, and internal struggles that often remain hidden beneath the surface. Their thinking patterns are shaped by biological factors, social expectations, and personal experiences that influence how they express emotions, handle challenges, and build relationships. By understanding these psychological truths, we can move beyond misunderstandings and appreciate the deeper motivations behind male behavior. Instead of assuming men are emotionally distant or simple in their thinking, recognizing the complexity of their psychological world allows for stronger communication, empathy, and connection between people.